Hello everyone. So today we are here to discuss some very basic examination techniques which I usually see in the examination that the students struggle with. So today we have this patient of ascites and I'll be trying to show you how to elicit a fluid thrill response, how to see shifting dullness, and how to check for horseshoe shaped dullness. And I'll be elaborating the basic causes of this, the basic mechanisms as I go ahead with this lecture. So this he is a case of ascites, a liver disease patient, liver failure with decompensation, who has developed dilated veins and ascites, which are signs of portal hypertension. So only three things I am going to demonstrate: how to elicit the fluid thrill, how to elicit the shifting dullness, and how to elicit the horseshoe shaped dullness and why they occur. So coming first to fluid thrill, we know the name itself, fluid thrill, means there is something that is going to induce thrill in the fluid that is accumulated in the ascites, and we are going to detect it from the other side of the abdomen. So when a patient has full ascites, abdomen is full of fluid which is more than 2000 ml, usually we get a positive fluid thrill test. What do we do in this test? We usually ask the patient to keep one of the hand at the center of the abdomen. This we are doing because we want to stabilize the fats, which should not give a false fluid thrill result. So once we put the hand on the center of the abdomen and fix the fats, we just keep our left hand on the left flank of the patient, and from the right side we give a small snap to the abdomen. So doing this will produce vibrations and turbulence inside the fluid that is accumulated in the abdomen, and we are feeling that vibration from the other hand. So that is a positive fluid thrill test, and it is usually positive when the abdomen has fluid which is more than 2000 ml. Coming next to the shifting dullness test. Now what is shifting dullness test? We know that the percussion of the abdomen is tympanic. So when there is accumulation of fluid inside the abdomen, wherever the fluid is, it will be a dull note. But if by any maneuver we tend to shift that fluid and then again percuss that same area, we will get a tympanic note. That is the basic mechanism of shifting dullness. So for doing the shifting dullness, we usually keep our fingers parallel to the long axis of the abdomen. That is the basic thing that we should be paying attention to. So suppose the abdomen is full of fluid and we are percussing the top of the abdomen. Because the patient is lying flat, the intestine will come up because it is the air, it is full of air, so it is always going to be on the upper part, non-dependent part. Here the dependent part is the back, non-dependent part is the front of the abdomen because the patient is lying flat. So if we keep the fingers parallel to the long axis of the abdomen and start percussing, we get a tympanic note because there is intestine at the surface, and we start going to the flanks. So as we proceed to the flanks, see, if you can hear, this flank is fully dull because there is fluid here. There was intestine here, hence it was tympanic, and as we proceeded to the flanks, it became dull. Now what we will do, we will ask the patient to turn on one side, so aise ghum jao, so that the left part becomes non-dependent. Now whatever fluid was here at the area of my middle finger, it will be going down now. So hold for 15 seconds roughly, so that the fluid goes down and the intestine becomes prominent here. So once we start percussing now, this has again become tympanic. That indicates that whatever fluid was here, it has gone down. And if you now start percussing to the center of the abdomen, the center of the abdomen, which was earlier tympanic, has now become dull because all the fluid has came down. Similarly, you can do on the other side in the exams. Keep your fingers parallel, tympanic, 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 dull. Shift the patient on the other side for 15 seconds. Let the fluid go down and again tap. So this area has become tympanic now because all the fluid has shifted. So that is the basic method of doing a shifting dullness. Lastly, coming to the horseshoe shaped dullness. Why it is called horseshoe? Because we are going to get something that is U-shaped or horseshoe shaped on the lower part of the abdomen. That is because all this area is filled with intestine, which will give us a tympanic node, and the lower parts will be filled with fluid because intestine will be up to here. So if we keep our fingers now perpendicular to the long axis of the abdomen, and this is all tympanic because it is all intestine here, and when we go diagonally to the right iliac fossa, to the hypogastrium, to the left iliac fossa and to the lumbar areas, they will be dull because there is fluid there. So this is comparatively less tympanic what we got in the upper part. So we mark here. Similarly, we go, see, this is pure dull in the left iliac fossa. So we mark here, and again we go to the right iliac fossa, which is again purely dull here. So we mark here, and when we join all these three areas, we get something which is U-shaped. Hence it is called as horseshoe shaped dullness. So this is how you elicit all these percussion tests in the exams when a patient of ascites is being given to you. I have tried to explain all these things very fast because if I try to explain them in very detail, it will take more than an hour. So I hope whatever it is, this should now be very easy for every one of you to elicit in the exams. Just pay attention in which test you keep the fingers perpendicular or parallel, and in which case you put it perpendicular. You put the fingers parallel in shifting dullness test, and you keep the fingers perpendicular in horseshoe shaped dullness test. So these are the basic things. And one last point, for shifting dullness or the horseshoe shaped dullness to be positive, there should be at least 1000 to 1500 ml of fluid in the abdomen, which is slightly lesser than what it was needed for fluid thrill, because there it was 2000 ml. For shifting dullness and the horseshoe shaped dullness, it is around 1000 to 1500 ml of fluid that is required. So I hope this becomes useful for you in your exams. Thank you.